Why do people buy things at auction? Well, for me, it's because I'm going to get boxes of surprises with glimpses into the past. And I'm going to give y'all an example. If you didn't know, I'm a pianist. This is my girl, and I'm mediocre at best. Let's just be honest. But I saw an auction that was being held by one of our local auction companies, the Ligon Company. And of course, Representative Randy Ligon is an amazing individual. His team is awesome. When I saw a lot of sheet music, now if you're not an auction buyer, you might not know, a lot just means all the stuff. And it's going to have sheet music, and you don't have the foggiest idea what's in it. And so if you're a treasure hunt person, you might enjoy this surprise. But for me, I wanted to know what sheet music I'd get, and frankly, to win this one was a huge coup. Well, then I opened the box up, and I'm getting this glimpse into somebody else's life and into a world that used to exist. So if you're a young person, this is way better than the internet. So for example, we just had Mother's Day. There is sheet music in here called This Wonderful Mother of Mine, and maybe I will play some of these for y'all in a future episode, and you should tell me if you want that. But this sheet music was printed in New York, and at the time it cost 50 cents for this beautiful piece. This is from 1922. So looking at the estate information, I believe this lady probably had her music and also her mother's music, because we look in here and it says that if you are interested in quartet music, sacred and secular, arranged for male and female mixed voices, send for the catalog. Y'all, we used to get music in the mail, and you used to get sheet music that you could use over and over. And then it says here, the wonderful mother of mine, that wonderful mother of mine, is an ideal song for the home for every day in the year, not alone for Mother's Day. And then you realize that back in the day, people would sit around and listen to somebody else play, and they would enjoy music together. They weren't all buried in their devices. Well, then I found a very popular song from I Got Spurs, Jingle, Jangle, Jingle. It had Fred McMurray in it, and to be fair, I thought Fred McMurray was only the absent-minded professor, but he apparently was a cutie patootie. Look at Fred. This is from 1917. And by the way, young people, you should learn how to read Roman numerals so you know how old the music is. But even better, it says your leader for this song was Kay Kaiser. Do y'all know who Kay Kaiser was? My good Tar Heels that were in the music program do, because Kay Kaiser went to UNC, go Heels. And of course, I didn't major in music. I just hung out with Sue Clevenow because she was the best, and I loved being in the choirs at Carolina. And so you get these little glimpses into popular life, movies that I've never heard of. But then the one that got to me, y'all, because she was a church musician. Now, if you didn't know, I collect hymn books, and she had 2 Presbyterian hymnals. She had the old red one. If y'all are Presbyterians growing up, you know this was the one before they had to make everything politically correct, because that was the blue hymnal was the first politically correct one. Then they got wild and crazy on the next one. But I found this, and I don't know if she was just a singer in the church or she was also the pianist, because I've got 3 boxes of music to go through, and maybe I'll share everything, but this one tore me up. She had this piece of music, How Lovely Are Thy Dwellings, based on Psalm, 584, all right? She wrote on here, y'all, that she sang it on July the 29th of 1967, in July of 1968, in August of 1968, and in September of 1971. And it got me to thinking that you can have electronic music. You could scan all of this in on your iPad, but then when you're dead and some strange lady has bought all your things at auction, there's nobody to sit here and realize that this was so beloved by you that you sang it 4 times, and here's your handwriting. And she had pretty handwriting, whoever this lady was, and I'll never know. But then I found all these scores. So she had to be a real musician, y'all, because she had a full score for the Bach Christmas Cantata. We have the St. Paul Oratorio by Mendelssohn. We have the Haydn Mass in C. We have Creation by Haydn. Oh my gosh, this is, I can't wait to dig into this. 62 Southland Spirituals, including Lift Every Voice and Sing. And this was from 1946. And it's got the songs that people won't sing anymore because they're afraid of being called a name. But y'all, you can't let this kind of beautiful music die. It's got to be kept alive. And then I've got this one. I never heard of Songs of the Hills and Plains, early American songs. And this is was printed in Minneapolis from 1943. So mid-World War II, somebody's printing this song called The Big Corral. I can't wait to learn that one. Goodbye, Old Paint. I don't know who Old Paint was. Wayfaring Stranger, we all know Wayfaring Stranger. Soldier, Won't You Marry Me? That's a World War II classic. So tune in for an episode where I test out these songs. But then I found a kinship with this passed away lady in this lot of sheet music, y'all, because I found the Beethoven 9. And if you are a singer, then you know that it is absolutely a requirement that you're going to have to sing this many times in your life, because all y'all like to hear the Ode to Joy. And then I noticed the stamp on the front says Charlotte Symphony Orchestra, which means that once upon a time, she sang in the same choir that I used to sing in when I sang with the Charlotte Symphony 30 years ago. And I don't know what part she was, because this one's not marked up like the rest of her stuff, but she did mark a bunch of soprano things. So she and I could have stood nearby, since I tend to sing alto. And I'm just going to tell you that if you don't slow down and look at these things as your parents are aging and as your loved ones are aging, you're going to miss the moments to ask about the time that this lady spent singing with the Charlotte Symphony Orchestra, because I don't know if her kids and grandkids aren't musical, or if she didn't have kids and grandkids, but now this stranger has her stuff, and I can't wait to find out what's in here and play these songs myself and keep her memory alive. So go to auctions, buy stuff, and then sit with it and enjoy it. Remember the way that things used to be. And of course, you can enjoy the technology, but maybe you would slow down a little bit, and you can come back and we'll play some songs together.